Hello, welcome to Python lesson number 5. Today we're going to talk more about GUI interfaces using Tkinter. And we're going to be making more buttons, we're going to be using sounds, we're going to be defining more functions, and we're also I'm going to show you how to change the field of the window and change the size of the window and so on. So we're going to start with what we had last time. So you really have to do lesson 4 first. So let's add. We're going to start by adding a few more libraries here. So we're going to do import WinSound. This will allow us to be able to use sounds. Import time. This is always a good one to have. And then we've got our, like from last time, we have our window that we assigned, window title. We just call it My GUI Program, which you can call it whatever you'd like. And we have our image. So we're going to keep our image on there. And now let's make some other bells and whistles. So we're going to define more variables. So let's do define make sound. And right now we're just going to say WinSound play sound. And I'm going to use, so you have to use a WAV file. It will work with MP3s, but it's easier to do it with a WAV. There's less monkeying around. So convert it to a WAV if you can. Otherwise, there are other tutorials out there which will show you how to play MP3s using WinSound. So I'm calling mine bird, and you have to make sure, just like with the image file, that it's in the same image, or it's in the same folder as what you have in that's in the same folder as your source code, your Python source code. So I'm going to say comma WinSound.snd file name. So this just shows the computer where this file is going to be. Now, with defining functions, you can treat this very, very much like nesting. So you can put a for loop right in here, and I'm just going to do that just for the heck of it. So we'll say for I in range, and we'll say 3. Talked about this in an earlier lesson. So we're going to say 3. So we're going to say, and then of course this has to be spaced out. So what will happen is it's going to play this sound 3 times. And I'm going to do a few other things, and then you'll be able to see later how that for loop will work in that defined function. So we're going to do defined. Here's another one, change color. And I'll say change color to black. Again, I can call these. I'm making my own function. So remember, I can call it whatever I want. And then configure, and this is background color, black. Oops, spelling is imperative here. And let's see here. I'm only going to do one nested for loop, and that's in the make sound. You can do that wherever you'd like though. So define, and then I'll say change color to, change color to white. Now, of course, we can call these what we want, but we do want to have our spelling consistent. If you misspell it in one way, it's just going to make things more complicated later. So, and they'll say window.configure background, and then we'll call that white. And let's change the window size. So all these buttons are going to do different little things. So we're going to say big window size. And then window.geometry. And then we're going to give this a nice big window. We'll say 1000 by 600. And then we'll have one that says define small window size. Now these might seem kind of like boring things to do with a GUI interface, but it's actually great because you're able to because this way you can really have an idea of what to do and how to make changes and things like that to your GUI interface. So we'll do small window size, and we'll say window dot geometry and 350. I'm going to do 350 by 400. So I'll make that a bit smaller. And I just noticed this should have a period there. Then let's see, we've got our add label. Oh yeah, there is one other thing that I want to point out. Let's say I have another one, and I'm going to call this do something. Okay, do something else. I don't know what it's going to do, but I want to get this in here. But I haven't written the function yet, but I want to test my code. So I'm just going to write here pass. This way I can always come back to this, and I'm not going to get an error. So it will ignore this function right here because it says pass. Now we need to make our button. So we've defined all of our functions, and let's go ahead and say button sound, and we're going to say button window comma text, and then again we want it just like before. What I explained last time, we're going to make those buttons the way we want them to look. So we'll say text, and we're going to call it make sound, and then background we'll do black. I think I'll just make all of these black, and then the foreground is going to be gray, and then comma, and font equals, and now what kind of font do we want? None, which just gives you the generic font, and then 15 bold. I think is the same size as before. And then our command, don't forget the command because that points you back to the function that you created before, and we're going to call that make sound. You can see that from above. Now we're going to do another one, button. Actually, this should be, make that, there you go. So button add label. And I'm going to just go ahead and copy some of this. So, and we will change this to, so add labels. These are not all in the exact same order. You can see I've got label down at the bottom here. So if you want to have cleaner formatting, it's always good to have to follow the same order. And let's go ahead and you can see I can copy a lot of this and then just change some of the variable names just for the sake of time. And I suggest you do the same. Just make sure you try to keep the same order. And so button, let's do change color to black. And then we'll just say, I'll call this change to black. And then oops, this is, now notice I'm going back to the command here because this command can't do the same thing. Otherwise, I'm going to push two different buttons and they'll do the same thing. So, so this is going to say add label. This right here, we're going to call this one change color to black. And this one is going to be change color to white. And so we're going to change the background of this image just by pushing change the background of the window by pushing a button. So change to white, and then this is going to say change color to white. Has to be spelled exactly the same, including your case, your capital versus lowercase. So change color to black, change color to white, and then we have. So let's change let's change our window size. So we've got button. We'll call this big window size. So this app that we're making is going to do a whole bunch of kind of silly, pointless things, and we'll call this big window, and that's just a spelling on it on the button, so I'm not as concerned about that. And then we're going to, the command will be going back to our function, big window size. I'm typing, so I hope you're looking at the function while I'm typing. And then lastly, we've got and we're going to change this one to small window size. And I think, oh, and of course, change the button, small window. And I think that's everything. And notice, so this function right here, the do something else, that's just a function. I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I forgot how to write the code, or I have to look something up, or maybe I'm just not going to write it right now. But that's why I wrote pass. That will not show up as a button because I haven't made the button. And it looks like this one. Okay, so I can get rid of that. Now we're going to put those buttons somewhere, because still the buttons don't show up. So we're going to say button sound dot pack, and then we say button add label dot pack, and then button change color. Oops, gotta watch those capitals. Dot pack button change. What did I call it? Change color. Change color to black, and change color to white. Pack. I mentioned the pack function last time. You can do place. It's pretty easy to do. You just type in place, then you put in the coordinates. I'm a big fan of pack because it's just easy. It's clean. It just kind of puts the button where it fits, and it puts them in the right order too. So if you are to change these orders, if I change like the change color to white pack, and I move that button to the top, that will that'll just arrange it in the beginning. That's all. This right here, this, and then so, and they'll say button. Big window size dot pack, and then button small window size dot pack. There we go. I think I've got everything. This one is extra from last time around. We've got it all in this loop. Remember the loop window. It's pretty common people use root. Root, window, really means the same thing. And notice I have this picture up here, and I'm just packing in and up here. I'm doing it before all the buttons. I want that to be at the top. If I want it at the bottom, I can put it at the bottom. And I think that's all. So let's go ahead and run this. See if we get any errors. Oh, that's from last time. There we go. So here we go. We have our picture at the top, which we packed all of this in, and then we have our sound. If I click on this, it will make the sound 3 times. If I click on add label, we get our label right there. I change to black, and that doesn't work. Change to white, big window, small window. So let's see what I did wrong with the black. It says that the black here wasn't defined, and let's see. Line 24. Change color to black. Oh, there's our error. Okay. So I put a minus sign instead of an equal sign. So I'm going to run this again. Okay. So, and we'll say change to black. There we go. Black, white, big window, small window, add label. And now let's try the sound. And that doesn't work because it says in range 3. Again, I made a mistake. So that should be an E like that. So let's go ahead and run that one more time. So that's all working. And now our sound. And there is our sound. All right, and there's your GUI interface with a bunch of kind of stupid stuff. Thanks, bye.